We're going to Manawatu now, where a local man, George Griffiths, has started a hunger strike after a long-running dispute with the District Council over his Leaky home. Mr Griffiths and his partner Leslie Thomas bought their home halfway up the Ruahine Ranges in Pohangina Valley. 4.5 years ago, it was to be the couple's forever home and a retreat for people who suffer from depression. They did the usual checks before they purchased it, including getting a building inspection. But they started noticing a myriad of issues with the house shortly after they moved in. They say a subsequent inspection revealed it wasn't built according to plans, but the council issued a Code of Compliance certificate anyway. After years of meetings with the council, they say they've been told their only option now is to take the council to court, something that they just can't afford to do. I spoke to George this afternoon, shortly before he visited council to accept their offer of mediation, but also to inform them that he'd started the hunger strike today.
I think most people, most consumers rely on the Code of Compliance being accurate. I believe the banks rely on it being accurate because you can't get a loan unless a house has a Code of Compliance, and so do the insurance companies. They also rely on a Code of Compliance being accurate. So it's three different people that rely on that Code of Compliance being accurate.
Okay, George, so this situation you're in, outline to us what the problems are now facing you in terms of remedial work you might have to do, the value of the property. What's exactly wrong with the house?
Well, upon looking at them now, Alex, we've looked at the plans and we know them quite well. We've come across no foundation checks, no block wall checks. We've had inspectors, other people come by that are in the field, and they've said that the flashings are all wrong around the windows. The cladding is completely different to the design of the house, which actually lets the wind inside the wall cavity and then through the power point sockets. That's how bad it is.
So you're saying it's effectively impossible to live in this place?
Well, it makes it very, very hard. Over the winter period, we've actually moved our bed into our lounge to try and keep warm. And for a new house, I mean, that's just disgusting. But luckily, we do have summer coming our way, hopefully.
Yes, but in the summer, of course, we do get intermittent rain, and your roof is leaking as well. Is that right?
Yes, because it's such an exposed house up high in the Ruahine Ranges, the consented plans and specifications required it to have flashings for a very high wind zone. It doesn't. It has just flashings for the CBD type of area. So even though it was stated on the consented plans and specifications, it was never put on. And because of that, we get the driving wind, driving rain, and we all know what happens.
Yeah, and since this has all happened, George, you've got an independent housing inspector who says that the Code of Compliance should never have been given. What was the council's response to that assessment? They
just basically stonewalled us and just kept on. I mean, they're very good at running around in circles. But now, I think since we've handed the letter of intention to the council, they have now offered us a mediator, but they have offered no solution, and from the letter they still stick to their way of thinking that it's not their fault. But my question to them is, who signed off the Code of Compliance? Who ticked all the appropriate boxes? And on those boxes that they had to tick was to cite the on-site plans, which we have in our possession, which totally does not resemble the work that they've passed.
And it sounds from things, George, that you don't have too much hope for this upcoming mediation process, as you're going on hunger strike today, aren't you?
Absolutely. I started it from 12 o'clock last night, and I'm going to continue doing this because the public need to know. I think if you ask any public person out there, they would say that the Code of Compliance was a guarantee that the work was done correctly and properly from the council. That is not the case. It is not a guarantee. We've been told by the council it is not a guarantee and has never been implied to be a guarantee. which we've asked many people in our district, and they all believe it is a guarantee. It is not. So anybody else out there could be in our situation, and they don't even know it. So
yeah, I was going to get to that, George. I mean, we're in spring. We've got a higher number of houses on the market. There'll be a lot of people out there considering buying a house. What's your message to them? Is it, you know, be ultra careful and get a second opinion at least on the inspection?
Oh, absolutely. We went above and beyond. We can actually consider that we went above and beyond, because even though it was a new house, we, like anyone else, understand that it's a big investment. But they're pumping through houses at the moment. Why? Could there be other failures out there like ours? And as I said, the code of compliance is no guarantee. That's scary. That is really scary to know that. What do we pay these people to inspect if they don't guarantee that they've done it correctly?
George Griffiths there. He's gone on a hunger strike today. In fact, he started at midnight over his dispute with Manawatu District Council. We did get in touch with the council and they say they won't comment while it's a legal matter.